Hello, this is Systems of Equations by Graphing, example 3, and it's a story problem. And story problems are the reason for algebra. Algebra is, my definition for algebra is that it's the written language of mathematics. It's used by all of the sciences and all of the humanities as well. When they're doing any type of math, it's always algebra. The reason for it is it simplifies things, and these story problems are a good example. This business rents skates and bicycles. The skates are $15 a day, the bicycles $30 per day. The business rented 25 altogether, and they made $450. And you have to find the number of skates and the number of bicycles. With any story problem, you have to start writing it down in your own words. When you write it down in your own words, it starts making sense, and you can start seeing the relationships between the numbers. So I wrote it down in my own words. I say there's 25 total rentals. They collected $450, and we need to know how many skates were rented and how many bikes were rented. And the skates were $15 each, the bikes were $30 each, and you just start writing, and you start thinking. And I'm going to assign some variables here. I'm going to say that the number of skates equals X, and the number of bikes equals Y. And now I look at what I have and I try to make sense of it and try to see some relationships. I know this is difficult, but you have to persevere, and eventually you'll start seeing some relationships. You'll put down some equations, and then you can solve them. The value of two equations is that you can just go for simple things. Like it says there were 25 total. That means they may have rented 10 skates and 15 bikes, or they may have rented 25 pairs of skates and no bikes. But anyway, there were 25 total. So whatever X is and whatever Y is, when you add that up, you're going to get 25. That's a relationship. I think it's the simplest relationship in this particular problem, and that relationship is X plus Y equals 25. So now that takes care of the 25 total rentals. Now I have to do something about the collected $450 and the $15 for the skates, and this has to do with the money. You have to put yourself in the situation of the business. If they rent one pair of skates, they get $15. Two pair of skates, $30. Three pair of skates, $45, and so forth. So whatever this X is, the number of skates, if it's 2, that'd be 2 times 15. So the X gets multiplied times the 15, and that's the amount of money that they collected for the skates. And we have to do a similar thing for the bikes. If they rented 2 bikes, it'd be $60, 3 bikes $90, 4 bucks $120, 4 bikes $120, and so forth. So the Y gets multiplied times the 30. Now altogether they collected $450. This 15x represents how much money they collected for the skates. The 30y, that represents how much money they collected for the bikes. And altogether they collected $450. So I'll add this together, and I get $450. So now this looks like something I've been doing in example 1 and example 2. I've got 2 equations and 2 unknowns. X plus Y equals 25, and 15x plus 30y equals 450. So I'm going to solve this by graphing, and you'll have to graph these two equations on one graph, on one set of axes. So when I do this, I've let each line be 5, and x plus y equals 25 is this top red line. At least it's the top over there, and it transfers down over there. The other red line is 15x plus 30y equals 450. And the solution is right there. And at that point where they intersect, the x is 5, 10, 15, 20. So the x is 20, positive 20. And the y, it goes up 1, and 1 is 5. So the solution is 20, x equals 20, y equals 5. So x was the number of skates and y was the number of bikes. And you can see that x plus y equals 25. They had 25 total rentals, and that's what my solution represents. And it says that's 20 skates and 5 bikes. So far, one piece of information seems to check. I had 25 rentals altogether. Now the skates were 20. There were 20 skates at $15 each. So this is the amount of money I got for the skates, $300. And there were 5 bikes, and 5 times 30 is 150. So I got $150 for the bikes and $300 for the skates, and altogether that adds up to the $450. It's very important when you do these story problems to check into the original wording of the problem. You may have made a mistake when you put down these two equations. And if you just substitute into the equations, you could be substituting into wrong equations and saying, "Ooh, my answer's correct." So the way to do it is to go back to the original story problem and put your numbers into there so that it makes sense like I did, and then you show that you actually did it correct.